Oh, good morning, everybody. I'm sitting here messing with my camera. I'm telling you that Facebook has really messed with their camera controls and stuff. And so every time I go live now, it's in a little bit of an adventure. Anyway, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Pam. How are you? I am showing craft stuff this morning, and this is Connie. And before I show you what I want to work on today, I want to show you, hi, Stephanie. I've been starting those cards for this Lake Life card making kit. And so I just basically punched out all the pieces, cut everything, and started stamping a little bit. But I finished the first few and I thought, these are really cute. So sweet. We should chat more, Pam. This is perfect. I can chat online. Anyway, I'm starting these. You can see I've started stamping this. This is kind of a cool background, and it's just made with this one stamp right here over and over in different colors. And I thought, well, that could be done for everything. I mean, think about that as a background for like everything that you do, right? Birthday cards and stuff. Cool, cool, cool. Hi, Christy. Good morning. Good morning. I'm getting a slow start, you guys. It is beautiful outside, but that also meant I could sleep. I opened my windows last night and I actually slept for a while. I seriously have not been able to sleep. It's like the house is too cold or too hot. The animals are driving me crazy in the middle of the night. I don't know what is happening, but somebody does not want me to sleep good right now. Anyway, today I have some scrapbooking to do. And so you're probably wondering why I have a card kit in front of me. And it's because I'm messing with it, making scrapbook pages. So this one right here really caught my eye because, well, first of all, it's got like a really neat layered effect on the cards. It almost has like a lacy effect that goes over the printed card. And there's 3 different cards styles that it makes, and you make 9 cards. Oh gosh, yeah. I scrapbook like every day. I'm like, it's my jam. So it keeps me sane. Anyway, so this is a card kit, and it kind of looks cool. To me, I immediately saw that and went, oh, that looks like snowflakes or something. And so I totally should do something snowflakey with that. These card kits are kind of interesting. This is one of the first ones that I've purchased. It's like one of their online specials. And I think this one's actually, it's called Colorful Kaleidoscope. And it's been around for a while. So some of you may even have it already in your stash or something. But it comes with a little set of stamps because it's made to make like thank you, just because you're special, and wishing you a magical birthday, just some generic kind of messages. And it comes with a little Stampin' Spot in gray granite. It comes with a block and a little bit of like foam adhesive, and the little kind of, they're like a deep gold dot. So hold on a minute, I'm gonna turn my light on. I got in a hurry. See if you can see that better. Oh yeah, you can see that a little bit better. Anyway, so this kit is kind of one of the first ones that I've bought. I'm gonna keep this out in case I need it. You get envelopes that coordinate with the cards, and I threw all my extra parts and pieces in here. There's some die cuts in gold foil. There are some die cuts that are printed. And then on top of each card was like a kind of a lacy looking overlay. So this one had a white overlay. This overlay was for this card right here. And so you can see that they're kind of cool. The envelopes are really fun. And you know what? Normally, you know, the other kit that I did like this, I used the envelopes and I cut them apart. And this one, the only envelopes I used were the ones that were kind of coral. So let me show you what I've done. Look at all the adhesive that came in this kit. And there's a lot of, little things that you can do to kind of make these your own if you want to make them as cards. Anyway, so this is the before, and now I'll show you. Try to get my act together a little bit. I loved this one the most, so I'm going to save that for last. And then this one is my least favorite because there's something about that coral color, just not my thing. But this is the scrapbook layout that I made. Okay, now I can try to zoom a little bit with my camera. I'm having to fiddle with my cameras more since they messed with their settings, but you can see the whole 2-page layout, which is nice. So basically what I did, you remember a while back when I did that, it's like a 7-inch by 11-inch piece of cardstock. And then I found the center point and we did the rays that go out. Well, that's basically what I did. And the only piece that I added my own cardstock, of course. And then I also added a piece, let me grab it. This is from that Nature's Sweetness paper. And it has that really cool gold foil. And I was like, I felt like it needed gold. Because the cards themselves have some gold foil on them. And by adding some gold to it, it just brought that out. And I really liked how this looked with the rays on both sides. Now, what you don't see is underneath my photo mats, like this one is especially short. Because, you know, when you're cutting up an envelope or a card, you know, you don't necessarily get these big, long 9-inch pieces or whatever. So sometimes, you know, you got to get creative when you're using these card kits. But my favorite part, honestly, I love this like lacy border. This kind of lacy border right here, what initially I had in mind was, do you remember back in like the 70s when we did like macrame and there was a lot of like shirts that you would wear over top a shirt that had this like lacy appearance, and that's kind of what it reminded me of. And I was thinking of doing like a older pictures, you know, and doing this more retro looking. But then when I got the cards out, I don't know, I just couldn't seem to make those colors work for me. So I did it more fallish looking. I think it's kind of fallish looking. So what I did was, I grabbed this stamp set. This is that Close to My Heart, Grateful for This Life. It's a stamp of the month. Almost everybody in my club got it. So I used this grateful, so very grateful. And then I used some of the other little pieces around the layout for you, for this life. I just thought that was really cool. And these little hexagons are part of the card kit, and they're right there. And you got like 4 of them. So that was kind of a good use of that. Now there's other parts of the card kit I could have used that I didn't. I could have used the little printed pieces like these colored pieces that go, you know, that you just punch out and use. And I'm considering that still. But basically, the other thing I used is this changing leaves set. There's an embossing folder and a stamp set, and you can see I put all my extra parts in here. And what's interesting is when it embosses, I put some blending brush ink on it to change it up just a little bit. And this one was an embossing folder. I put ink on the embossing folder and then ran it through the machine, and then it imprinted onto the, you know, white cardstock. And then some of the dies in here give you like the leaves. Now this big die in the middle fits in the embossing folder, and you put it all through at once. But there's also all these other little pieces that would be really fun to use. And you can see on this one, I've been looking for a place to use this. It feels a little early for me. This feels very fallish. I know you can use it for any season because it's just leaves, but it felt a little fallish for me, and so I haven't used it much yet. But here I used it on that gold paper. It's this gold paper run through the embossing folder, and so it gives it kind of a mottled gold effect. And then this is that ink technique where I inked the embossing folder and ran it through. And then this one, I started with sapphire cardstock. I thought it looked really good, but it was too blue. It was like too bright for the night of navy that they have here. So I added Harbor to it. And so this is actually Harbor. And you know, I love the color Harbor. It's like, here's the difference. So you can still see some of the sapphire blue in there. And then I just added some Harbor to darken up some of the leaves a little bit. I think this turned out really nice. I hope you like it. So there's the first one. I'll definitely be using that. And then the second one, okay, let me grab it. I didn't totally complete everything, but this is the Gnomes for Winter scrapbooking stamp and dies. And unfortunately, it does not have dies for the actual words. The dies are for everything else. But I wanted to use one of these giant titles so that I could, you know, make this whole scene. And this one, I didn't put it together totally because I wanted to show you what I have done. So first of all, the card. The cards are these. This is the base of the card. So basically I took each card and I cut it so that center medallion was cut out. So here's the card base with the overlay on it. So the entire base had this pattern on it. And so when you cut it apart, you have like this, how did it go? Yeah, it was like this. So I cut this little sliver off the top, and then I cut this little sliver off the bottom. Do you see that? So that made like your whole card front. And by cutting that apart, you end up with all these little strips, and you end up with these other little chunks that I put between the photos. This one, I just did it layered, and I put this 3 of them here. There were 3 cards, so I put 3 of them, and then I needed something for in between. Now, the reason, I know it's weird, it's a little weird, because the colors of this kit are kind of a, what is that color? It's like a gray granite, night of navy, and a lagoon color. I can't remember the name of it. It's but you know, this is the base color of that. And I was looking for something to kind of go with that. And then the other color is, there is some Coastal Cabana in there. The pop of orange is, I gotta find it. It's some kind of coral. There, Calypso Coral. So when you look at the main colors of this kit, you're probably wondering how I came to using it. Hold on a minute. My little ring is getting all hung up. You're probably wondering why I chose the colors that I did, because those are some bright, bold, like almost summery colors. Oh, good luck on the procedure, Pam. I hope everything goes well. Okay, so what I chose was rosemary and espresso and white. And it's not even white, it's like French vanilla, because I wanted it to be more, I wanted to bring out the softer colors of this. And so I did a little bit of espresso and a little bit of rosemary, and then I used my paper punches and I just punched tons of snowflakes everywhere. So here is that cool title and some of the stamped snowflakes from that set right there. And then these are just paper punches that I've had in my stash for a while. These Family and Smiles are part of that camera set. And then I want to show you, so on this left page, I kind of left it in parts so that I could show you the base. So the cool part about this one is that I used this giant embossing folder. This is a giant embossing folder. It's like 6.5 by 8.5. It's a very large embossing folder, as you can see. And when I put this is a 6 by 12 inch piece of paper. So look at how much it covered. When I put that embossing folder in, it embossed it all the way to here. That is a huge amount of embossing. And then I pulled it out and I flipped it around and I did the other side like that and ran it through. And what I ended up with then was a 12-inch piece of wood grain embossed cardstock. I just think it's so pretty. And so that is the part that goes in the center. Sometimes when you use embossed, you have to use a little more adhesive. And then see, there is a line right there. You can see that line where the embossing changes, but it's going to be covered mostly with your photos anyway. So it's not like it just glares at you. Now I went ahead and did a 4x6 photo mat and a 3x4 photo mat, and I I kind of attached that strip to the back so that you could see how I put that together. And that's how I did it on this page too. So let's go ahead and do that. I think one of the third layout is the one that I find to be the most interesting. I ended up loving this one a lot because it's really special. I just love it. Okay, so I have all these little snowflakes that I punched with a paper punch. I have the camera set that I stamped in espresso and cut out. And I have a couple of snowflakes from that stamp set. Now, let me show you these pieces. So this is the overlay that was for that one. Let me just show you. So when you were gonna put your card together, like this overlay would go on top of here, and you know, you would pop it up just a little bit with that foam, and it gives it such a cool look, a cool dimension. I just love this. This is so neat looking. But I wanted to use it on my border. So let me just show you what I did on the underside. So I did a little, this right here, you will notice there is this is the back of the card. You know, when you, when they were folded, you know, I cut apart the front of the cards for these decorative areas. This is the back. And so I used 2 card backs, and then I cut one little strip right there. And then I just cut a strip of espresso and a strip of rosemary. And then these little, where did I put it? And then these little guys right here, I'm just adding to this as a decorative element to tie together this whole layout. Like, it's nice to have this color scheme over here on this side of the page. My dog is at the front door, and he's watching Steve do the recycles. The recycles have to be done Friday mornings, and so he wants to go out so bad. All right, so there's that. There's my border. So it ties it together by having the same kind of thing on each page. Now the other part I want to do, I really want this to be like an overlay here. And I think what I want to do is make it so that there's not a white border showing. Like, I'll chop that white border off at the top and at the bottom. And that way there will be no, like, actual border here. So let me just get my scissors and cut this off. And then I'm just going to use my liquid glue and attach this. I'm not going to add a ton of glue. I don't need to. Just around the edges. I'm going to put that here. Dot in the center. And then this one will have the entire thing. Sometimes you have to flip them. One side has like kind of, you can see one side is more white, and one has like a laser cut, and it has just a little bit of the brown laser cut. So I would recommend turning them in a way where you get fewer of the laser burn showing, if that makes sense. I think this, if I'm gonna do a winter in July, Christmas in July kind of deal, this is what I want to do. This is my thing. I think this is the way to go. All right, so I'm looking at the two sides. I'm picking the white, the more white looking side. And I'm just gonna, okay, I'm gonna put this here. All right, so that gives me that snowflakey, lacy effect. And I'm just going to cut that. Like that. Okay, so let's see. I really love how this looks so much. And then my thought was to use some of the snowflakes and put the camera here at the bottom. I feel like I need, see, I stamped it twice because I wanted, so I flipped it over. That's why it looks that way. Let's see. But I am gonna put some foam on here. And then we can start our third layout. Our third layout, I have everything cut out just like this, and we can just sort of start putting it together. But so I really love how this looks, and you can choose if you want the darker side or the lighter side or where you want them to be, and kind of decide how you want them to look. The other thing that I did was I punched out of some of the scraps that I had of the card backs. You know how there's, I had like lots of this color of the card back left. So I used some of that to help tie it together too, because it's really hard to, you know, if you have something that's right next to another thing, it's hard to match it perfectly if you don't have all of the colors. So using those cards, it really does help. So, and you wouldn't even have to do this as snowflakes if you don't want to. I just really like how it turned out, so. All right, really neat. Now the other thing that, see, like this style I used on top of these little circles over here. So, cool. And I left a little space here in case I have another little photo or I have some journaling that I want to use. So there's, you know, Christy, this card kit, the problem I have with the card kits is that I don't tend to make all of my cards the same. Like, I don't like a whole bunch of identical cards, and you know that about me because even when I do a lot of my cards, you know, I tend to make them a little different somehow. So it's hard for me to have the exact same card over and over again. I really like how that looks. Okay. This is cool. All right, so I did snowflakes here, and I went ahead and I used those, oh golly, the pre-cut pieces that Close to My Heart sells, they're like little chipboard, paperboard types of pieces, and I just stamped the words on these, and I thought they would look really good on this page. Now, the last thing I have to do is gems. Now, I thought about gold sequins because there is gold foil on these cards, but that takes away from the softness of the page. And then I was like, well, let me see what I got. So this one, these are earth tone shimmer gems. And I thought, well, these would work because I could use the, you know, the soft white, but I'm not sure it would show up enough. It's almost too soft. They have this like kind of tan and this kind of pearl color, and the tan color is a possibility, but I'm not sure they show up enough. And then I looked at this. This is the adhesive backed dappled dots. And if you look at them closely, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they have like a crackle finish. Let's see if that's, I don't know if that shows up or not. But this pale gray color is the color on this layout. Look at that. It coordinates with that card. And so I'm like, oh, well, that works well. And then the other one I pulled out was the glitter gems from Close to My Heart. They're also gold, but they're a little bit softer. And I thought that's kind of pretty too. So I can't decide. Should I use the brownish gray or should I use the gold? I cannot decide. You guys tell me, and that's what I'll use. The ones that came with the kit are beautiful, but they are in your face bold. And again, I wanted to play up the softness. So you tell me which ones to use, and that's what I will end up using. Okay, the third layout, I have a lot of parts and pieces for this. Okay. The third one is this, it's this card right here. And this is the front. And then the cover for it is this right here. Okay, so there, sorry, wrong side. Is that right there? So that is the card, the way they make it. And it looks crazy right now, but when you put them together, it's like, ooh, that's really pretty. But I wanted to use it as snowflakes, so I flipped it over, and I'm using this weird little laser side. And what I've done here, I decided, just like the other one, I'm going to use it as a border on the side, okay? And I have this, I cut out the center medallion, and I cut out the little hexagon, I don't know what you want to call that, the tiny snowflake. And you could even cut the circle part off and make it more of a real snowflake, right? I mean, like, you could just snip that out a little bit. All of this is like, you know, do what you want, but sorry, that's annoying. Let's see. So if I just snip all the parts, I'm just gonna start dropping pieces here. So, but you can kind of get the idea that you can make more snowflakes out of this. And it's almost like having little, real fine die cuts. And it looks cool. Like that. So you can make different types of snowflakes. Okay. The other thing that I use, I pulled in Frosted Forest. Now this is another new online exclusive kind of thing, but what I really like about this one is you can just make all die cuts if that's what you want to do, or you can stamp them. And there are stencils. So I know I'm going to be showing this more again, but there's basically a tall tree that has 2 stencils, and then this tree has a couple of stencils. And you can add snow to the trees. It's really cool. The other thing Stampin' Up did is they cut a notch and they numbered their stencils. So it tells you this is 1, 2, and 3, you know. Number 1, number 2, number 3. I don't know how well you can see that, but that way you can get them in that perfect layer so that you don't mess up where they go. Cool. So I do like that. I like this set a lot, and I'll use it more at Christmas, obviously. But let me show you some of the ones I made. So I started out with Glacier Blue, and I stamped on it so that you can barely see a little bit of blue texture in the background. And then I put the white die cut on the front. This one I stamped onto sapphire using white ink, and then I put the white die on the front. This one I just stamped directly onto this white cardstock. This one I used the peach, and I stamped on the peach, but you can hardly see it. So I just added the die cut. And then this one I stamped using white daisy, and then I had to let it dry. And you know, white daisy takes a long time to dry because it's a pigment ink, so be careful. But my thought was to put this on as a border. This is Lagoon, which is like the dark color in the card. And if I want to pull that out, so by using these colors, I'm going a little more bold, and I'm pulling out the peach and the lagoon and the blue. So I'm actually using the colors of this card. And let's see. I have some photo mats cut, and I just thought, well, this would be kind of a cool look. So depends on, now these are actually the card backs. So, you know, this is how the card came, right? And I just cut the back off. And I'm going to use those as photo mats because the color match is so perfect, right? So that's awesome. And then I just have to decide what I'm going to do on this side over here. So I have this. I have these cool trees. I love the idea of putting them down here. And I think I might make a circle cut using one of my circle dies, just to give that like a white background to make the trees pop just a little bit more. And then I saved a couple of trees for over here. I have the snowflakes that I cut, and I can certainly cut more, right? Because I have these other 2 bases. So I could probably put one more down here, and then put the 3rd one over here. And then I'll have my triangle. So that's my plan for that. And then I think I need, yeah, I'll probably put more trees down here. Let's see what else I've got. So I played around a lot with the different colors. And you can see I left some of the trees die cuts just plain. And I was kind of wondering if that might look good in the background, you know. You know how sometimes you just see like the silhouette in winter? So I thought that might help some of these a little bit. So this is my plan. I'm just gonna sit here and play a little bit and make this work really well. And I really like how this is looking. So yeah, I'll decide what else I need to add to it. And you can see I just used like, this is Glacier cardstock and this is Sapphire cardstock with this. Then I grabbed these little bitty shaker gold stars. I want to add gold to this for sure. I could totally add these little gold dots to the center of my snowflakes because, I mean, that is going to make those snowflakes just pop, right? So I'll do that. Oh, look at that. I could make some of the snowflakes, flip them over, and add the lagoon color over here. That's a cool idea. I'll leave it there just in case. My other thought was to take these stars and just have them kind of scattered around the page. It's a little bit fussy because they're very, very tiny, but I think it's going to turn out to be like one of my favorite pages. So there is layout 3. I know, not finished, but I'll put a photo on it later. I mean, I'll let you guys know what that looks like. And then again with layout 2 and layout 3. So I got 3 layouts out of these and I still have almost all my envelopes. So I'm going to use those for my winter cards. Why not? They look like snowflakey prints. Which one's your favorite? I really want to know. I'm curious which one you like the best. To me, this one is very fallish. Now, this color in the background is acorn. I struggled so much. This is the one I kept showing to Heather because I could not find, I wanted it to be white. Well, white didn't look good with my Ray. It just wasn't right. And then I tried craft. I tried desert sand and craft and toffee. I tried a golden yellow, like a sun. No, nothing looked right. I tried this color as the background and then changed my photo mats. It did not look good. So I landed on acorn, which is interesting. It's kind of a, this is that color that kind of reminds me of like, well, baby poop brown or something. It's just not like my favorite color, but look, it looks gold on here, which is really neat. So I noticed, so Stampin' Up has a color like that too, called Wild Wheat. This is their baby poop brown. And you can see it would look great too. It's a green, it's a greenish brown is what it is. And because it's got so much green in it, I actually like the acorn color better than this one. So, all right. And then this color right here for me is smooth. These are the card bases actually. And then I added this one, which is Smoothie. Heather thought this was a big contrast, but I don't see that big of a difference. On the page, when you're just flipping through the page and you're going to have a photo mostly covering this, I don't think it'll matter that this and this don't match perfect. But this is an old retired close to my heart color called Smoothie. But I hope you like it. All right. So this is what I have today. Totally different looks for the different cards. The nice thing is it has instructions in here step by step on how to build the different layers for each one. So that's like, this is your card base, and it shows you where to put your adhesive so that it doesn't show. And it shows you where to put your adhesive on the different parts. Then we have this one with the different layers, and this one with the different layers. I like that it shows you where to put long adhesive and dot adhesive so that everything shows up perfectly. And the parts that I have left over, I can certainly still, I could still make a card using this. And I haven't even used any of the adhesive in here yet. But I was thinking I could use these. Like, instead of this close to my heart thing, I totally could have used those on here. Would have been worked fine. So, all right, that's what I have today. I hope you like it. Have a good weekend, a good afternoon. I think that I'm going to be doing a cross stitch midsummer meetup. And so, did you decide which of my gems before I go? Anybody? Anybody? Do we do brown? Do we do gold? I can't decide. They're both great. So just let me know. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.